myself. Can't
Fucking 6 reasons we here on 1127. 2 clicks, every direct.
The way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back. I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell him all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble on, I ramble on. I'm about to get my ramble on, and I'm the one they really couldn't get a handle on. Then when they see they missed the boy, they get a tantrum on, and I know they never thought we would make it. Underdogs, it wouldn't be able. Labels gon' ask what we bring. Tell them we bringing the table. Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. Take off your shoes, crib brand new. Yeah, I'm about to go in like a damn fool. I'm leaving your mans, them in shambles. You know, light up the wax like a candle. I've been on fire, watch me heat up the track. I took the crown, I ain't giving it back. Unless you got L's on your wish list. Messing with me, you gon' big a statistic. Really, you think you'll get it back? That's silly. I'm about to run the game, no kidding. I'm way too cold, too chilly. Yeah, they ain't wanna hear me, yeah, now they gon' feel me. You did? Look at my team gon' way off. Now we running the game, they can't play y'all. We don't need an assist, now we counting up chips. I think it's time that they pay y'all. Let's go.
And this is how we shoot drink videos here at Fridays.
It's a rough gig, but someone's got to do it.
It is a rough day. Hey, where the other drinks at? We got other drinks. Hold on. This one,
For the ladies out there that think there's alcohol in it.
I didn't touch it because there's no alcohol in it. This one, you know I didn't touch it, ladies and gentlemen. Tell them why I didn't touch it.
There might be just a no alcohol.
There's no alcohol. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, guys, quiet on the set.
What?
And action.
Hey, I'm Taya Kyle. I'm the founder and executive director of Chris Kyle Fraud Foundation.
She's demoing the voice-activated teleprompter.
Semi-automatic espresso machines like this one are great for cafes who want to have control over the beverage making process.
I don't know what he's doing back there.
Hey,
Okay.
What's up, y'all? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on?
I don't know what Matt's doing.
Hey,
Matt, where were you taking a picture over there?
Sparkles?
Sparkles, Matt. This is going on YouTube in front of a million people. We're, capping off a crazy night of photography and what was that stuff? Creme brulee? What was that?
Like eggnog creme brulee?
I can't never pronounce that.
So good.
Creme brulee.
Custard.
Custard. Pudding. Pudding with crust and icing at the bottom.
Yes.
Pudding. Matt, what did you eat?
I had some meat, some chicken. I had rice for sure.
Some rice, some long.
Philly cheesesteak bites.
Philly cheesesteak bites. Yeah, those were good.
Yeah,
Last time we were here,
those were
amazing
good.
food. So,
Did they have that last time?
Yeah, it was good.
I don't think they had that.
Oh, yeah, get a
But
shot of that.
that's a good shot right there. You know, we're just doing our thing, wrapping up, getting ready to go home and sleep. I'm going to sleep. I don't know what y'all. I'm going to pass out because I'm tired. These two are about to walk through the casino and get attacked.
Yep.
So if you need security, I'm off in about 15 minutes. So you guys are on your own. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I don't know what I usually say, Matt. What I say?
I mean, make sure you. The subscribe button's gonna be right about there. Make sure you click it.
Make sure you click it.
Also, you see that post notification? Make sure you hit that.
Hit that.
That way, your next time you see your boy hitting that. Come on, I'm telling you.
Next time you see your boy, double tap that. Yeah, we out. So we have Ross here that's killing it with us today.
FlashFilm Media, inspired by passion, driven by results.
Vlog cam, we're live on the vlog cam at Six Flags, huh? We're just doing vlogging, we're doing video. We're vlogging right now.
Hi! What's it, One Love?
Yeah, One Love Cage, we're just vlogging and we're just having fun right now, we're just getting it in. Stay tuned. As you can see, people, we are here filming Bane live where we have the Ronin. Hold up, get a shot of that. The Ronin is on a crane. What's up, YouTube? If you're like me, you probably own an A65 or 6300 series camera. All right, and action. Yeah.
Working with him for a couple of years. Ty is an amazing guy. I've learned a lot from him. Make sure to check him out on everything. I mean, stay involved.
On everything.
I've learned the most.
Everything. Follow me on.
I text him all the time about details. We're talking earlier today about
yeah.
cameras. So
yeah, this is what we do. I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions.
Yeah.
I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. This is a story about me betting on me and why you should. What's cracking, everybody? How y'all feeling today? Today we're going to talk about the top 5 worst pieces of advice that I ever heard given to content creators. And a lot of this stuff is still being used today. A lot of this stuff is still being told. And we got to debunk these myths. We got to. But first, what we got to do is we got to roll the intro so we can go ahead and get right into it. Sit tight and let's do this podcast right.
You're listening to Content and Cash, a FlashFilm Academy podcast. If you want to learn how to take pretty pictures, this is not the place. But if you're ready to make a living by learning the business behind the camera, buckle up, because it's time to turn passion into profit with your host, Ty Turner.
If this is your first time on this channel, you got to understand that this channel is about the business side of content creation. If you want to learn how to take better pictures, this ain't the place. But when you want to learn how to monetize that skill set, I'm the guy you need to follow. And this here is the channel you need to subscribe to. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok or whatever, go ahead and hit that heart button. And in the comments, I want you to post where you're from. I like to see what people checking in from. This is what you can consider the season finale of Content and Cash. This is going to be the last episode for a little bit. Not forever, but for a little bit. We're going to focus on some other things. We're going to go in some other directions with content. But while we're here, while I got you, I'm going to punch you in the throat on the way out the door for a minute. So we need to talk about a few things because, you know, in the world of information, there's a lot of bad or unhealthy or unuseful information that's put out there. So let me make sure I preference what I'm talking about and why I'm talking about it. I am talking to photographers, videographers, podcasters, graphic artists, editors who are working with clients, who want to work with clients, who want to work with businesses. Let me say that. Businesses, not the filmmakers who want to make movies. You got to go carry, some C-stands and make coffee until you move up in the film industry, unless you have the money and the funds and the means to shoot your own movies. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about my B2C clients, those who want to shoot parties and shoot stuff where people are your clients. I'm talking about those who want to make the maximum amount of profit while being a content creator. And right now, that is in the B2B space. That is going to a business saying, hey, my business want to create content for your business, or my business can solve a problem that your business may have. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that is the most profitable aspect of content creation right now. And let me talk about why just a little bit, real brief. The film side is being bombarded with streaming services and, all of these companies that are making movie, and it's hard to turn a profit on a movie as an individual unless you have a major advertising budget. On the personal side, well, people got cell phones, right? AI is creeping into that space where they would hire you to get headshots for their self and their LinkedIn page. They're downloading a AI app that's allowing them to do that. So those two sections are tough to get into and tough to make profit in. The section that is extremely profitable is B2B. But you got to remember that businesses only hire businesses. They don't hire people. So there is a bar, a level that you need to be at to enter that space. Now, we're going to leave it right there. We're going to pause right there now that you know what's on the table and how we going to do it. And let me talk about this real quick. This is brought to you, of course, by our Capture and Convert Kit, which is 5 courses and 2 ebooks that's free on our website. It's free. I'm giving it to you. It should get you going and get you enough business where you can afford to be loud and be a member. I'm giving it to you. All right, so let's continue to punch you in the throat real quick. And let me start with number, in no particular order, but this is when I do my research and I look at other people and what they're doing and what they're talking about, this is where the information is bad for those that are within the preference that I've already set up, for those that want to make money. If you want to make money with your camera, if you want to make a living doing what you love to do, this is the easiest route to do it, period. And with, like I said, with AI and things like that, it's becoming, I'm not going to say the only route, but if you want to make a living, this is you're a one-man band, you can do this. It's a lot easier to go do this than it is to try to make it on set of a Hollywood production when you're not even in that area, when you're in Arizona somewhere or Utah. So without further delay and without further ado, I'm going to give you the top 5 worst pieces of advice I've ever heard given to content creators, especially for 2024 and the way things are now. Worst advice. Number 1, create great content and the clients will come knocking. That is complete BS. I know content creators that are really good. They will run circles around me on their ability to create dope, dynamic content. Their ability to create cinematic, excellent content is much greater than my ability. But they're not doing this for a living. They're doing it for fun. Of course, because they can't get clients. And it's a problem that they run into. Real quick in the comments, post where you're from. If you on TikTok, if you on YouTube, post where you're from in the comments. So the idea that creating great content is no longer a valid way to get clients attention, because everybody's creating great content. Hell, AI is creating great content. So it's very important that is not all. If you strive to be the best content creator, it means nothing. Sorry, not sorry. It means something in the filmmaking space, but look what you got to go through to get to be the top. It's not as valuable as you think it is. So, and I say that because I don't want you killing yourself. I'm not going to say practicing every day, but killing yourself, putting yourself into the space of buying all this crazy gear so that you can shoot like the guys you see on YouTube shoot, because that's not how they're getting those jobs. Just going to be real with you. What's going on, bro? In DFW, are you right up the street? We both in DFW. So creating great content will not bring in clients naturally. Won't happen. I don't care how great of a content creator you are, it will not. And that's just based on how the world works these days. And just people are bombarded with content, right? Everywhere you go, you're getting content. It's difficult to create something that stands out. And even when it do stand out, it don't do what I always say your content needs to do for your client. It don't do it. And that is solve a problem. But we'll get to that in a minute. Number 2, build a great portfolio shooting for free. This is the worst advice I've ever heard to be given to content creators in 2024. Because the portfolio is not what's going to bring you the clients. The information you get from said client is more valuable than your ability to capture images. We talk about that heavy in module 1. I'm going to punch you in the throat with it real quick. We talk about that heavy in module 1. The idea that you should be going somewhere shooting for free is a old school idea that is no longer valid. You need to stop thinking about it. You need to stop using it. You need to stop falling for the exposure trap. You need to stop falling for the, well, people gonna see it trap. That is complete BS. Don't do it. Say no. Now, is there a time and place to shoot for free? Absolutely. But over on the inside, we go over a list of things you need to be getting from a client to make it even worth it, and how you should be handling that client. You don't want to walk in a situation and they're like, film this, film that. Hey, film this. You don't want to do that. There is a procedure that you need to follow when shooting for free to make it worth it for yourself and your business. If you think that procedure is just getting quality images to put on your website, you have failed. It don't work like that. You need way more than that. And the information that you get from the client is worth way more than just images on your website. There's a lot of parts and pieces as far as the aspect of how to run your business that you can get from that relationship. And we punch you in the throat and make sure you understand that in module 1. Because you need a lot of information to run a business. Why guess? Why am I guessing as to what works when I can get that information? Period. That's what we talk about heavily in module 1. Stop guessing. Stop trying to hope. Stop thinking you know what your client is going through. Stop it. You don't. You will be guessing wrong. And the mind fills in that gap saying, oh, okay. I know a lot of content creators that think everybody who got money to spend on photography and videography want more clients, right? That's the first thing photographers and videographers go through. I can get you more people. I don't need more people. More people will hurt me. That's because a lot of content creators don't understand that scaling too fast is a problem for business owners. Scaling too fast is a problem. You don't want to do it. It will hurt your business. So while you got somebody in your ear bugging you about bringing you more clients, you can't handle the clients you got now. So the point I'm trying to prove is, as a content creator, we don't teach you what to think. We teach you how to think, how to go about getting certain information so that you know how to use that information to build your business. Very important. Very important that you understand the difference on how to get the right information and what spots, what plugs do it fill in my understanding of how to have a successful business, right? Usually content creators come to FlashFilm Academy, they have an idea of what it takes to run a business. They learn that they only know 10% of it. They learn the other 90% of what it takes to run a business. And then they learn how to get the information to plug into those holes that you may have within your idea of running a business that is specific for your skill set, your location, and your availability. Those are 3 things that I can't guess for everybody that's watching this content, but I can help you understand how you need to go about getting information to answer the questions you have, to fix the problem you have, and that is becoming profitable. That's what we do. So very important that you're not out here building a great portfolio for nothing. And let me give you an example. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on you. I'm going to give you just a little 2 sentences from module 1 to show that you're missing it. Okay, let's say you build a portfolio. Who is it for? Who can look at that portfolio and say, this is what I need? Do you know? Or are you just adding your best shots? Do you think that your most cinematic shots is going to make a client think, view, and understand your business and translate that to your ability to solve their problem? I don't think it can. It won't. Period. There's no way you can look at a guy holding a hammer and know that he can fix your transmission. You don't know what that hammer is for. You don't know what he's going to do with that hammer. There's no way to look at that guy, even if he looked like a mechanic, and know for sure he's the best at changing my transmission in my car if I got a bad transmission. You can't. In fact, if you knew transmissions, you know that in most cases a hammer is not involved. So a lot of times with content creators, we have this website, this portfolio, these pictures, this Instagram, and we look like the guy with the hammer, a bunch of pictures of a hammer, and we don't understand why clients aren't reaching out, calling, contacting us. Nothing about what we've provided speaks directly to the client we want. A lot of times, because as a content creator, we've never focused on that client. We don't understand who that client is, what they do, what they're looking for, or what problem they solve. That's something that a lot of people who just want to run into business because they think that photography or videography is easy money these are the people that are a problem. And you don't have to, they're fine. I'm cool with them because I have the ability to step over those guys. In fact, I can use those guys as a reason why my client should choose me over the field. Those are the guys I like. Let's get to number 3. And we kind of touched on it. A portfolio website is all you need. If somebody's telling you to build a portfolio website for your content creation business in 2024, stop following them. Stop listening to them. Stop it. Just stop. A portfolio website don't solve any problems. A portfolio website don't talk to your client. It's not a call to action. It don't lead them down the path of understanding why you're reassuringly expensive. You know who I want you to model your website after? And this is going to be weird, but when you see it, you'll get it. Model your website after a plastic surgeon. Model your website after a plastic surgeon. Why? Because plastic surgeons talk about what they offer. They also show you before and after pictures. They also can show you the result of working with them. They also provide you with information as to why they are the best at doing it. You see where I'm going with this? You're picking up what I'm putting down? Plastic surgery websites are very good at convincing you you're going to walk in the door like this, you're going to leave like that. That's all we do. We fix backs, butts, whatever, faces, lips. We fix it. Look at her lips. Terrible. Look how she left here. Happy. Boom. That's you. So, and that's just off the top of my head, just trying to give you an idea of how your website needs to solve a problem for a specific client type. Now that goes back to number 2 or number 1. If you don't know who that person is, how are you building a website? How do you have a brand, a company, and a website, and you don't know who you're going after? In the military, how do I know how to take out my target if I don't know what my target is? Am I going there? Am I taking a knife to a gunfight? Am I throwing rocks at a tank? How do I understand how to win if I don't know who my target is? I don't understand the mission. I don't understand the objective. I'm setting myself up for failure if I'm going to battle unprepared. A lot of you all are going to battle unprepared, and you don't understand why you're losing. In fact, you blame it on the client. It's too saturated. They don't want to spend no money. You didn't come prepared. You don't look like what you're asking for. Let's get to number 4. Because this is really bad advice. I see a lot over and over again. Over and over again, right? This is charging the client based off your gear and your experience. I've been doing this for 10 years. So what? Your client don't care. Your client don't. Are you willing to pay more for a burger because somebody been flipping it for 20 years over somebody that's been flipping it for 10? Are you willing to pay more for a burger for that? Are you willing to pay more for deliveries because your UPS driver been on this route for 10 years instead of the UPS driver that's been on this route for 2 years? Or you got the Amazon delivery guy who got the new electric truck. That truck costs more. That's better equipment than the guy that's burning gas. Are you willing to pay more for your delivery for that? So what makes you think your client is willing to pay more because of your experience? That's an old school method. I'm not saying there was not a time and place for it, because it was. That's just an old school method when it comes to working with clients. That works with plumbers and certain service-based industries. It don't work with providing content, because we live in a world where the young guys, the new guys who are coming to this with a different mindset, that are editing different and shooting different, are having greater success than those who've been doing it for 20 years and are stuck in their way of shooting. It's new methods that push this industry forward. And a lot of times it's from people who don't have the experience that somebody who's stuck doing it the old-fashioned way does. The new guys are the disruptors. And you should be thinking like that. So the idea of charging based off your gear or experience is completely wrong. And you should not be doing it. there are other ways to provide value to a client so that you can charge what you want to charge. There are other ways to provide value, and you need to know what those ways are. If you got questions, post them in the comments. We'll get to them right after this. Any questions, go for it. So there are ways to be reassuringly expensive. It is not based on your experience and your gear, unless, there's the asterisk to that, unless it ties into one of the first ones we said, unless this experience and this gear speaks to your ability to solve a problem for a client. That's the only time it matters. See, a lot of people say, oh, well, I've been shooting for 20 years and I filmed for this guy and I filmed for that guy and I got this gear and that gear. It doesn't matter. What you should be saying is, we solve this problem for this amount of people. Here are their results. This is the before, this is the after. This is why they chose us. And if you're not doing that, you're working in 1996 and you're wondering why it's not working for you. Let's get to last but not least. Last but not least, very important, bad information or advice you've been given from other content creators or whoever, and this is my favorite, and I touched on it a little bit. The market is saturated. Man, they ain't buying because the market's too many people. It ain't. No, it's not. The saturation area is at the bottom. It is mad saturated with people who bought a camera from Best Buy and decided they want to take family portraits and do an hour session for $50. It's mad saturated in the area of people who don't understand business, or they don't take this serious enough to focus on the business. That is where the saturation is. It is saturated in the area of sometimers, people who like, well, I guess I ain't really going. It's saturated in the area of people who think the camera is what makes the money and not this, not the business, not the brand, not building a company to get in front of other companies or individuals. It's only saturated at the bottom. The minute you start learning how to build a brand or business, the saturation is gone. Once you break above the saturation line, there's plenty of business out here. In fact, so much that you won't have the ability to get to all of it. But you have to get out of the big saturated area and move above it by understanding how to properly run a real business and not just being a photographer or videographer or editor or a podcaster. The saturation is at the bottom. Just like pouring sugar in a cold drink, it's going to sit right at the bottom. And everything is going to be right there. You have to understand what it takes to get above that line. And it's really this. It ain't gear. Everybody can afford gear. In fact, I can take all your favorite pieces of equipment and shoot a picture with them. And if you were forced to pick what was what, you would get it wrong a majority of the time. It's not the gear. Your ability to buy the gear don't set you apart. Your ability to use the gear to provide a return on investment for your client is what sets you apart. That's very important. The saturation line, it's thick at the bottom, and it's way at the bottom. Way at the bottom. You can go through 3 chapters in module 1 and get above that line easily. You can go through 3 chapters and be above the saturation line. I see it all the time. And it's easy to go from $800 jobs to $8,000 jobs simply by getting out of that saturation area, by understanding the value of a brand and business and problem solving, as compared to taking better pictures, having a portfolio site, buying sliders and all this crap you see on YouTube that don't help your business. So real quick, run over these 5 and I'm gonna slide out unless I got some questions. Real quick, 5 of the worst pieces of advice I've ever seen given in 2024. 1 is create great content and clients will come knocking. That's BS. Don't work like that. Create a great brand that solves a problem and be where they look. That's how you get them to come knocking. Number 2 is build a great portfolio. Shooting for free. This is a no-go. We will no longer shoot for free unless it's in exchange for the things I need to be great, and just pictures aren't it. You have to, in module 1, we lay out a list of information you need to get from a client to help you understand what you should be pricing, to help you understand where to market, to help you understand if your color scheme is right, to help you understand if your website is effective, to help you with everything that you need. That's what you should be getting if you're going to shoot for free. And we talk about it heavily in module 1. I'll punch you in the throat with that because it's real important. We talk about that heavily in module 1. There are things you need to get from a client to make it worth your time, as well as how to handle it. How do I handle it? I can't just go in and say, what you need? What you need shot? I'm going to shoot it. And you tell them, no, don't work like that. Don't work like that. Go in there like that if you want to, you're going to get used and abused. Number 3 is a portfolio website is all you need. That is incorrect. We need way more than a portfolio website. Let me kind of break down where portfolio websites started and who likes portfolio websites. Okay, if you are a freelancer, that's different than a business owner. That's a much smaller check. That's hourly. If you are a freelancer and you're working with a project manager who is used to hiring freelancing photographers and videographers, they will need to see a portfolio website. That's the target audience for a portfolio website, is for freelancers to get hired, not businesses, not for companies to hire you. Project managers who live a life directing projects, who live a life understanding what's a good photographer, what's a bad photographer, what's a good videographer, what's a bad videographer, need to look through your shots to determine if you're a fit for that project. Freelancers, not business owners, not project managers. Freelancers need portfolio websites because they're only being hired by staff members of a production team. Staff members can look at your ability to shoot, film, light, composition, whatever, and determine whether or not you're a great fit for this project. Your client who got a problem cannot. So a lot of times, a lot of people take this information from those who want to be DPs and key grips and second shooters. They take information from them guys and they try to go out in the real world and they wonder why businesses or people don't hire them. You've taken your advice from a filmmaker that's looking to get into the film industry. Completely different than what we do here. Very important that you understand the difference. Because a lot of people hear portfolio website. It's the first thing they go do and they wonder why my pictures are good. Why am I not getting calls? That's why. And then them portfolio websites be all over the place. It be pictures of birds, kids, dogs. You don't solve a problem. Sorry, not sorry. Number 4, like I said, is charging the client based off your gear and your experience. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's something you should never do. When I hear people do that, it's because of their lack of knowledge or, and for lack of better terms, ignorance of how business work. And I've said it 20 times. You don't care how long the guy flipping a burger been flipping a burger. You're not going to pay more because he can flip a burger better. Just don't happen like that. And photography and videography is starting to get the same way. Because guess what? You could say you've been filming for 10 years. So has anybody with a camera phone. The years of experience don't matter because this generation has grown up their whole life taking pictures. My 4-year-old got a small digital camera already. By the time he's 20, will he have 20 years of experience as a photographer? He could say so. So years of experience don't matter because everybody, it ain't like it was like 20 years ago. It was special to meet a guy who had 10, 15 years of experience behind the camera. Now everybody does. So it didn't matter. And cameras aren't that big of a deal anymore. Where, you know, back in the day, we all wanted Rebels because that was the big camera. Like that was the big camera with the lens. Because we felt like that quality was unmatched. But people are walking around with cameras in their pocket that can zoom in and get pictures of the moon. You think they care about your camera? They don't. They're walking around with cameras that can detect face, whiten teeth, skin smooth lines or smooth skin lines instantly. Record video and go live to whatever social media platform instantly. You think they care about your gear? They don't. They don't. Last but not least, the last piece of bad advice that's been pushed out here is the market is saturated. And we know that it's not. It's just a lot of people at the bottom who don't strengthen this, who go out and buy gear thinking it'll get them out of that saturation pool. And that is just not true. All right. Any questions coming in? We got one so far. I'm going to give y'all about 2 minutes while I answer this question. Any questions on TikTok or here? Let me know. If not, we're going to slide out. What are some tips on building relationships with returning clients to stay on their radar? So that's kind of a loaded question. There are a lot of tips when it comes to building relationships. But there are a few things we got to be mindful of. How did we first establish that relationship? How do we first establish that relationship? That's very important. Two, we use a lot of emailers to clients. We email clients just to stay on top of their mind, just to think about seasonal, a lot of things. So inside the academy, we talk about the importance of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So we have a lot of seasonal things that happen based off your job type. So let me just give you an example. Here in Dallas, it's conference season, right? We shoot a lot of corporate event. So we may send out emailers saying, hey, it's conference season coming up. Do you have your corporate event photographer? If not, click below. Let's get, things like that. So we use a lot of FOMO and a lot of emailers and things like that to stay in the mind of our clients. And it's based on whatever they purchased before. All right, we got a corporate photo booth we run out. I got a whole different email list reminding people that we have the booth. I'm not going to send that to my headshot list because they didn't hire me for that. Now, we may have information introducing additional services we offer that are cross-promoted. We definitely do that. But for the most part, I'm going to reach out to them based off what they have purchased. Or when we create lead funnels, right? We create items that we may give away to capture the lead. They came to us for a certain reason. Whatever lead creator that they clicked on, we're going to put them in that list. So those are things we talk about. Media Smith say, what are your thoughts on weekly or monthly newsletters that go out to clients, informing, educated, related to their initial problem? Yeah, that's absolutely. You could. I don't like to bug people. That's just me personally. But then again, I go to my email account and I got a letter or email from Best Buy every other day. So use it with discretion, but absolutely. The thing is, this also depends on your niche. You may have a niche where clients need content every freaking week. You may have a niche where they don't, right? You may have a niche where they don't. A corporate event photography, they don't need a corporate event photographer every day, maybe twice a month. Twice a year, I'm sorry. So I don't want to bug them. Idea Plus Media say, how do you feel about client referral? Do you feel client referral businesses actually work? So do you mean like the thumbtacks, the barks, those things like that? Idea Plus, I want to make sure I got the right idea. And I'll answer this until you post with, a little more information. But yes, things like bark, thumbtack absolutely work. This is what you have to be mindful of whenever you work with sites like that. People go to those sites because they don't know where to go to find what you offer. So initially, they're going to attract two clients. The cheap client that's looking to get it done cheap, or the client who don't know what it costs. The cheap client is going to be cheap no matter what. You can provide them with. If you're good at what you do, you can up the price. You gotta be good at showing value. That's what I love about websites like that. They help you determine whether or not you have the ability to show value. Because a lot of times you don't. You don't understand that you don't, but that's why people ain't paying what you want. You're gonna get a cheap client, or you're gonna get a client that don't know what to charge and they're getting bombarded with cheap guys, and you have to find a way to present value to beat those guys. Ideal Plus say offering clients a percentage bonus for referring other clients. Okay, so I personally don't do this because I'm gonna tell you. Let me be real with you. There's other ways of doing it than offering a percentage. One of the ways is doing it is going above and beyond the service that you provided to the client. Any client will sell you if you do a really good job with their content. And I don't mean just the image quality. I mean customer. See, we sleep on customer service. We talk about this a lot in Module 2. Customer service is very important because that's how clients are going to remember you. If you have I promise you, your pictures can be mid. They can be okay. If you have really good customer service, if clients had a good time filming with you and you made it easy, they will hire you again. Even if your pictures are okay, they will hire you again. A lot of times people focus on delivering great images and their customer service suck. They're not talking to the client. They don't communicate well. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And they wonder why they never get called back. Because people, and one thing I've learned in life, people remember how you make them feel. They don't remember how you treat them. They don't remember what you did for them, but they remember how you made them feel. So my goal is to offer a high level of customer service that if your client is working between me and somebody else, and we send an email reminders, we call and they get me every time. We're conversational. I got notes, so I remember what we talked about. I'm not re-saying old stuff. Like that is what takes my business further than the next guy because he don't focus on those things. Our ability to offer world-class customer service makes us different. It makes businesses who got big checks feel comfortable about writing those checks. Whereas somebody who don't have their stuff together, they're answering the phone like, hello, that when I call them, there's no voice service. I don't have to hit an extension and get to them. They show up in a regular car. They're wearing regular clothes. All of that plays a part in your customer service. When you underpromise and overdeliver, your clients will sell for you. Not only that, and I talk about this a lot, if it's a high-end clients only hang with high-end clients. They're going to send you more high-end clients. You don't need to give them a percentage. You just need to underpromise and overdeliver. I always overdeliver because clients, when they overdeliver, they feel in debt to you. They feel like, man, they gave us so much. I gotta do something for you. Or anytime they hear somebody needs something, they're going to mention you. That is how you get referrals. It's not a percentage game. You don't have to give up money to do it. Because think about it, right? Let's be real. People that's your friends and family that support your business, right? True support is hiring you at your rate. Anybody that's friends or family that want to hire me for a discount, I don't rock with them. They're not really supporting my business. They don't really support you. They're just using you because you are cheaper than what they can go get. Real support is when people pay full price for your services that love you and rock with you. They don't come to you for a discount. In fact, they'll fight you not to get a discount because they understand profit margins. And the reason why you're in business, number one, is to be profitable. It's not to take pretty pictures and have fun and do what I love. No, it's to be profitable. That is what business is. It's all about profit. If you're not focused on that, don't do this as a living. Every business want to make a profit. Even nonprofits want to make a profit. They just don't want to report it as profit. So very important. I don't offer percentages to clients. If anything, I may give them a free testimonial because usually I'm working with a client that has multiple clients and they refer one of their clients to me that get work done for them. And then I capture a testimonial while I'm there. Sometimes I don't even tell a client. I just do it and deliver it and blow their socks off like, dog, man, you did a testimonial for my business when I refer my client to you. Wow. Thank you. Now they refer more to me. So just some ideas that we talk about on the inside. He said, good tips about customer service, keeping them happy and having a good time. Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to, when I did certain photo shoots, I used to set up a playlist and get songs from clients so we can play their songs during the photo shoot just to make them happy. So it's very important that you think like that. Like this, listen, the average photographer that's competing with you they're trying to compete with you with a better picture. That's all they know. That's all they know is better pictures, better lenses, 8K instead of, that's all they know. They have never taken the time to fully understand the importance of business and the other aspects other than just being a freaking artist. Stop being just an artist and graduate to being a business owner. Stop being an artist. Stop being a photographer or a videographer and graduate to a business owner. That is where the money is. That is where the control and power is. That is where your future is. Your ability to create content don't matter. And as we move forward, there's more and more tools that you can use to create content, which makes it easier. If you're dedicated and tied to being just a photographer, you're not going to make it. We don't live in a world where artists are appreciated like that. Artists are hired by project managers who get them a little bit of the cut, and the project manager make the most money. So things you need to know about. Joseph said, how do you feel about a personal intro before the reel? Example is a short intro saying the client's name and where we met in hopes to work with them soon before. I'm not crazy about it. I got a whole course that talks about what needs to be on your reel and why it's important. Personalizing it don't matter. Not in that sense. Personalize it with name, it don't matter. The most important thing, and I'm not going to go into everything on the course, but the most important thing is that your demo reel solves a problem for somebody. Period. If there's some things you need to know before we shoot a demo reel. Who is my target audience? What do they want? What's important to them? They care more about that than seeing their name. Think about it. If you get in an accident, your arm hanging on, and you go to an emergency room, and the doctor is like, "We fix everything. Hey, John, welcome. We fix everything." You're gonna be like, "Well, what about my arm? Hope y'all can fix that." Or you can go to a place that don't say your name, and they fix nothing but broken arms. We're the broken arm specialist. You'll be back to normal in 48 hours. This is what we do. We are the best at fixing broken arms. Which do you care more about? The veterinarian that said your name, or the emergency room that fixed the problem that you have? They speak to you more than somebody who just say your name. Your client have a problem. They don't want pretty pictures. That's not why they're hiring you. The artist in you say they want cinematic, dope, depth they want bokeh. It's not true. That's why we teach you what to understand. We teach you what to ask, how to get the information, to understand what your target audience need help with. Once you know what the problem is, you got the cheat code. Once you can determine what the problem is for your ideal client, you're printing money at that point. You have the cheat code. We're just going to teach you how to get the cheat code, how to take that information and implement it. Carlos says, how about putting the client reel in your personal or email communication? Hi, client. Thank you for meeting with me. And this proposal will cover blah, blah, blah. Using it as my intro. Actually, on my proposal, it starts off that way. Yes. In my proposal, hey, it was great talking to you. You know, we've compiled information from that phone call. This is what we got. And it automatically populates based off the job type. So yeah, proposals are perfect. A perfect place to put it. But not on the demo reel. I mean, there's just not on the demo reel, unless you're doing video proposals, which is an idea. But that's, you know, the area that we think about personalizing is the surface area. That's not, so what it say my name? Do it solve my problem? I don't care if it says my name. I care if it solves my problem. Do it speak directly to me? Is it saying, hey, YouTuber that creates content, that's running a business, we got X, whoa, you got my attention. What'd you say? We got X, Y, and Z. Hey, doctor, who are having a problem converting X, Y. Hey, doctor, who losing, 30% of what you should be billing because paperwork is getting lost. This is the problem we have to make sure we get you that 30% back. I care more about that than hearing my name. Name is surface level. It don't matter. I care more about, and this is the thing, we have to focus more on our target audience than the surface level name stuff. That's easy. This requires some thinking. I know it requires some thinking, but if you do the thinking, you will build a brand that works smarter and not harder. Period. So we got to think about it like that. How can we understand who we're building this for? When you understand your target audience, you make better decisions. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example that I've taken from learning how to write for scripts and movies, and this will help you understand what I mean, right? So I was reading a book about how to write characters, right? How do I write characters for a scene, right? And why backstory is so important. Because you never think about like backstory. So what? Who cares? We got John and we got Smith. We got John and we got Steve. You know, they're locked in a room and zombies are outside, right? Why is backstory important? Backstory is important. Let me give you an example. John is a felon turned preacher who believes in nonviolence, and he's totally turned his life around. That's John. Steve is ex-military, special forces. Now, just knowing that, when it comes to making decisions about what happens in that room, we can look at the characters and say, okay, they are going to make different decisions, and I understand why. The ex-felon that's now a preacher is going to do everything in his power to remain in that space of nonviolence. Let's pray our way out of it. The special forces guy is going to be like, let's lock and load and get these zombies. The conflict is going to happen between them two and their different backgrounds, upbringings. So as I write this story, I can write the story based off how they would interact in that situation, given a backstory that's not even available to the client or to the viewer. Now, how does this work in business? Your client, your ideal client that you want, has a backstory that you don't know. They make decisions based off a backstory that you don't know. That's why it's important that you learn their backstory so that you know how to present things that's more favorable to their ability to make decisions. Let's go back to our story, right? If I would approach the felon that's now a preacher different than I would approach the special forces guy. The way he's going to handle things is going to be different than Mr. Lock and Loaded. So you need to like, I'm giving you the game. That's why it's so important to know who your target audience is, because when you walk in the door, you already have enough ammo based off this person type, this personality type, this target audience to help you be successful. Where if you walked in there and you didn't know whether you're talking to a preacher or a special operation guy, you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know how to handle it. You're trying to stay on your heels and spar with this guy. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. The goal is to identify the same type of person and get better at working with that client, get better at overcoming the objections, get better at offering solutions to the problems and doing it over and over again. So that when you do walk in, your win rate is higher than your loss rate. Your batting average improves when you see the same pitcher over and over again. If I see a pitcher that got a fastball and a curveball and he right-handed over, I'm going to start to win more than he wins at some point. So it's important that we understand why this is valuable in the world of business. We can't just be an artist and be successful. Them days are over with. Everybody got a camera. So it's very important we understand you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. I'll give you that. That's what we're here for. Because you don't know what you don't know. And it's a lot to learn about the business side to be successful. All right. With that being said, I'm going to close it up. Like I said, it's my last podcast for a minute. We're gonna focus on quality over quantity. We're going to focus on some different things. We will be still doing every Wednesday on the Academy, our accountability meetings, where we have conversations like this that go a little deeper. Like I said, online, I'm giving you the ingredients I can tell you it's eggs, cheese, butter, sugar. In the Academy, I'm giving you the recipe. 2 eggs, 2 egg whites, keep the yolk out, 2 teaspoons of sugar in this order. This is why we're doing it this way. Big difference. Huge difference. If you're not a member, consider joining. With that being said, I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. Y'all be safe, and I will see y'all in the next video.
You've been listening to Content and Cash, a FlashFilm Academy podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and go to our webpage at www.flashfilmacademy.com.